Shalom. We'll start this off by giving all praise and glory to Yahawah by Hashem YAHAWASHI, YAHAWAH Kakwadash. Double honor, salutations, peace, and blessings to you, like individual, starting with the other apostles and the bishops, the Great Millstone Church, as well as the rest of you brothers, all the way down to the brothers, hallelujah, who all push forth the will and doctrine of Yahawah Hashem YAHAWASHI in all faith, with sincerity, according to the true understanding of the scriptures. And also, the rest of you, sincere listeners that are looking to repent, get right, and turn back to the true creator, right? His only begotten son, our savior, right? So all of you, I say shalom. So it's just a quick lesson. Um, I had seen this video when the brothers had sent this through, and it was uh it was funny because this is like this is like the Stockholm syndrome that our people have, being so destroyed spiritually that they think this is heaven, you know. Well, really, this isn't heaven. This is Esau's heaven, but ultimately this is hell, and this is hell for our people, right? And what I want to do real quick, I'm looking look that word up real quick. Stockholm syndrome. So it says Stockholm syndrome is a psychological coping mechanism where hostages, abuse victims, or captives develop positive feelings, empathy, or loyalty towards their captors. And that's heavy because that's exactly what that video shows. You know, you go into the scriptures, right? Um, let me get it. You see here in Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, right? Just to give some context or some context to what's being spoken about, right? The book, the book of Deuteronomy, really this entire book, but you read Deuteronomy 101, it goes on to mention how these be the words that were spoken. Uh, these be the words spoken to Moses to be given to all Israel, right? Just to read it real quick. And these be the words which Moses spake to all Israel. So like you said that one. So this is Deuteronomy 101. It says, these be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side of Jordan in the wilderness. It says, in the plain over against the Red Sea between Paran and Tophel and Laban and Hazeroth and Dizahab, right? So the entire book is written to the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and American Indians, right? But this is being something spoken to the Israelites, and it's making that clear, right? So when you go to Deuteronomy the 20th chapter, right, and it starts off in regards to giving, showing those that hearken unto the Lord, listen to the Lord, you can receive blessings, But once you get to the 15th verse on down, it goes on to talk about the curses that are going to come upon our people if they don't hearken unto the Lord, right? And when you go down, let's see, uh, there's a lot in here. Let me see. What I want to start with. I'm gonna just hit the points here. So what you have written in verse 48, right? Deuteronomy 20:48 says, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Right? Now, who who did we as a people go into servitude to, servitude being slavery, captivity to, right? So-called white man, right? Who biblically is Esau Edom, right? And this man has put a yoke of iron, and that yoke is a symbol of being enslaved, right? That yoke of iron has been put upon our necks. We've been destroyed so much to the point they no longer have to have a physical yoke of iron upon our neck because it's on our people's minds. And that's basically the Stockholm syndrome, right? Because it talks about the want of all things. In that video, that's what Jake wanted. That's why he thinking this is he made it. This is life, you know. He playing the angelic music, if you will, right, in the background, like he done made it, thinking him marrying into an Edomite family is what got him now, heaven on earth. But not realizing, not knowing or understanding that this is Esau's kingdom, Esau's heaven, and it's on its way out. It's not esteemed by the Lord. Notice this place worship the Lord. Notice this place give reverence to the Lord. Right? They despise the Lord, and they despise those that be of the Lord, which again is you Israelites. So it goes on to say, right, verse 49, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far. This is from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flight. And when you look at America, right, and when you look at the national bird, it's an eagle, right? You look at the characteristics, what I'm saying? Esau eating the fish, so-called white people, right? And this isn't a race thing, a color thing, I should say, so like this isn't a color thing, because we're not really black and they're not really white. This is a race thing, a spiritual thing, right? Spiritual and physical, you know. So this is saying a nation's going to come up over us, and they're going to be against us, right? This is a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor shew favor to the young. And that's exactly how this world has operated in regards to using our people and being in power over our people, right? But to get the end all be all, the number one, the main one, is in Deuteronomy 28 and 68. It says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, right? And where Egypt goes, it's synonymous with captivity, because that's where our people were when we were in Egypt, right? We were in captivity. That's the house of bondage, right? You see, Exodus 22, it shows. It says, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, right? So Egypt is synonymous with the house of bondage. So when you go all the way back down to the last verse, right? And it says, the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, right? Bring us into captivity with ships. Our people are the only people to have known to be scattered across all four corners of the earth and to be in servitude to somebody else, be put in captivity, put in slavery to somebody else with slave ship. And that's what this is referring to, right? It says, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, being a homeland. It says, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you, right? And you're not being redeemed, you're not being set free, you know? We're still enslaved now, you know? You render the Caesar with the Caesars, having to pay tribute, constantly having to give our money away, right? Filling our pockets, what our pockets and holes with money, So we're constantly losing money as we're bringing it in. We're in captivity. You know, this is the state of where our people are in, right? And it's gotten to the point to where our people now cleave onto Esau as if that's their salvation, and that's not the case. You know, verse 64 says, "What it says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone." Right? So our people have turned away from the Lord, have not listened to the Lord, and now have fallen into these curses. And this is the state of our people being so distorted to where they thinking, oh, marrying into a Edomite family, a so-called white family, they made it, they got it, and that's not the case at all. You know, and grab another one here. This is Isaiah 30, and verse 1. It says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin." How? Right? Because they're going to another God. They're going on to worship man over the creator, creature over the creator. Right? They're putting their trust and faith in man over the Most High, who is for them over any and everybody. You know, that's where our people are jacked up at, right? Because they're choosing to reject knowledge, as it says in Hosea, right? Hosea 4:6, it says, "My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge." This is because thou hast rejected knowledge. So it's because our people chose to do that. They chose to reject knowledge, right? They chose to reject the reality, chose to reject what the Lord said, and they decided to try to do what they want to do. You know, it says, "I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children." You see, so that's the state of our people being in this world, and Esau plays off of it by continuing to um, make it seem as if they've got it and they don't, making it seem as if you cleave onto them, you can be good, you can be set up, and it's not. You know, Lord King do that real heavy. You know, our women, whether it be uh like the North Carolina elder say, you know, whether it be um Eve, whether it be Maria or it be Pocahontas, you know, talking about, you know, when you go to Latinos and Native American Indians, right? They all cleave to Esau in some kind of way. You see how women they dye their hair blonde, they try to make themselves seem lighter, you know, they try to conform to Esau's ways versus, you know, the ways and customs of their own being, you know, Hebrew Israel. I mean, this isn't the place to be looking to try to cleave to, because the Lord He gonna bring their counsel to naught, you know. It says Psalm 33:10, "The Lord bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people to no effect." It says, "The counsel of the Lord standeth firm, the thoughts of his heart to all generations." Right? And look what it says, "So blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, Yahawah, by Sham, and the people whom he hath chosen for his own inheritance." And that's not everybody. Everybody does not have the chance and opportunity to receive those inheritances. That inheritance is for Israel and Israel alone. But those of our people that choose to cleave to this world and cleave to Esau, they're gonna be destroyed. Right? Referring to Zechariah 13 and 8. It says, "And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, two parts therein shall be cut off and die." Right. And that includes the wicked of our people, those that choose to live how they want to live, right? Live in their own imaginations versus living in reality, which is cleaving and holding on to the wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and how much you know. Right? It says, but the third shall be left therein. You see, and I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. You see, so they gonna be put through the ringer to be disciplined, to be proved, to be made to be shown, made righteous, made complete, made to be holy. Right? It says, they shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God. You see, that's what that's what we hoping to be a part of. Those that are actively looking to turn back to our heritage, to our culture, to uphold that standard, you know, to become the priest again, right? The earth is out of course, you know. So we gotta get ourselves right to be in position to help the Lord to be able to put everything right side up, you know. And that's not by cleaving to Esau. I jumping back to the Isaiah 30 real quick, just to continue. Right, Isaiah 38:2 says that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked of my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. You see, so they tried to, our people, we tried to cleave onto Esau, his riches, right, his system, how he establishes, um, stature, if you will. But all this is just a facade, you know. The school systems aren't set up to actually help you to think for yourself and be your own person and things like that. No, it's set up to teach you how to be a slave for they big conglomerate businesses. Be a slave to them, fill their pockets. You know, that's not of the Lord. The Lord isn't looking to um, just have everything be like one sided. You know what I'm saying? Like Brother Mohar had mentioned some years back, like um, if you were to let a hand what is it a manservant, you know, in his house go free, you not just leave them, you know what I'm saying, asked out for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like is meant to be actual true peace, you know, not wickedness. Right? I think that's Proverbs 29:2. And it says Proverbs 29:2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Right. So right now the wicked is bearing rule. That's why everybody's moving upon the face of the earth. We gotta get put back right. And that's when you truly make it. When you be a righteousness, when you truly be a YAHAWASHI. You're not cleaving onto Esau. You know, this man is your captive. And the Lord has it written that they gonna go back into captivity. Isaiah 14:1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Right? And this is where it starts to get to the point. Right, verse 2 it says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land. You see, it says, for the Lord, it's like it, in the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord, her servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. You see, and it ties completely back into the definition of Stockholm syndrome. It says a psychological coping mechanism where hostages, abuse victims, or develop captives, right? Captives, you see, develop positive feelings, empathy, or loyalty towards their captors. This man has completely destroyed people through captivity. You know, he's still looking to kill us and still looking to destroy us, and yet you got a slew of our people still looking to. Oh no, no, he doesn't need to. No, the Lord say, "He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity." That's the patience of and the faith of the saints. Revelation 13:10. You see, so it's as it's written, we gonna rule up our oppressors. So it don't make no sense to try to cleave on to um Esau and try to marry into their families. They heathens. They gonna be our captives. That's what the situation is. So when you go back to that Isaiah 30, right, it says, therefore, verse 3, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. And that's for our people that are not doing that, not turning back, not looking to um, see them go into captivity for the things that they have done. They're the wicked, and the Lord hates the wicked. The Lord hates Esau, as Jesus going to say. Romans 9:13, right? You got it done. Malachi, yep, Malachi 1:3 and verse 4. You see, it says, and I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragon of the wilderness. You see, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but I will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. You see, can't escape that, can't get around it. That's it. That's the state of what's the of what is and what's going to happen. So don't cleave on to this world. Cleave on to the Lord. Turn back to the Lord. Isaiah 26:3. Thou will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusted in thee. Trust ye in the Lord forever, for in the Lord Yahawah, not Jehovah, but Yahawah is everlasting strength. So that's pretty much the point. Don't be like that dude in that video. You know, don't be like him. So that's pretty much the point. The one is the edifying thing and give one person glory to how we should have shy. Or how we dash till next time. So